All right, welcome everybody to our Disney Parks panel recap podcast sort of thing. I'm Caden Does Things, and with me is Mike Gems.
Oh, I forgot I have to introduce myself still.
Yeah.
It's me,
I-
MikeJEHMSZ. Hey everyone.
so, I was at D23, and I'll be making some videos about that soon. Um, but I did not get to go to any panels, and I only went to Friday, so I had to stay home and watch the Parks panel live from a stream. Uh, yeah, so I have all the news ready here. Uh, Michael, is there anything you stand out remember from the panel that you want to talk about first?
A lot of the things I want to talk about definitely pertain to Epcot. That's been revealed since the expo started and all the park stuff was up. I wanted to talk mostly about the coming changes to Epcot. They have a new logo revealed that greatly resembles the original 1982-94 Epcot Center logo text. That's a plus for me. A lot of the new pavilion posters resembling past and present attractions were up on the show
Yes,
floor. Yeah, Caden, you
I got
saw
to see
them.
those. I
You got
saw
to see
those.
them.
Yeah, I
That's
only took
right.
a picture. Yeah, I only took a picture of Wonders of Life to send to you because you're a huge
Buzzy.
Wool fan. But
One of
they were
these
all
days, when
amazing.
I when
Like
I
I
go
would
to
love to buy some
D23,
of them and have them in my house.
I agree. And one of these days, if I ever go to D23, I know my cosplay will be Buzzy, bar none.
Yeah, that would be a really good one.
What else was on? What else stood out in regards to Epcot? So it turns out they will be only demolishing one of the Innoventions buildings. The fountain will, although the Fountain of Nations will be going away, a smaller fountain will take its place in preparation for the Journey of Water, in Moana-inspired pathway, basically.
Yes, Moana's Puddle Park, as I call it,
I got to
because
agree, Caden. That sounds like a pretty
in
accurate name. I cannot agree
in
more.
in reference to the late Bugs Land's Dots Puddle Park, of course.
It
Um,
fits.
my big standout story from all of this was obviously Target, of course. My favorite thing tied to the Disney theme parks, Target stores, and also the Disney store. This was
Well,
this was
in
the worst
regards
part of the whole
to,
panel.
well, the
Like,
thing is,
it was dumb.
Target and the Disney parks, that was the most out of context Twitter anything could get. If you're running an out of context account,
Yeah,
Disney parks out of context. Target dog.
yeah. It was weird when I opened my news feed, and I was like, "Oh boy, let's see this Disney Parks news," and it was, well, there's gonna be Disney stores inside of Target now, so that's about all the
It's gonna
news
be a
as of
lot.
now. Like that was their first announcement. I
It's
think it
gonna
was
be
dumb
a
that they
lot
took time
easier.
out.
It's gonna be a
Yeah,
lot
I think it
easier for
was.
me to find the Toy Story Signature Collection Duke Kaboom now.
Yeah, that's true. Um, but my real standout that I was actually quite happy about was the new Disney Cruise Line stuff they talked about. Because I'm a
Yes, the
huge
Disney
fan of the Disney
Wish.
Cruise. The
The
Disney
Disney
Wish.
Wish, I've seen it looks spectacular.
I am so excited. I love going on Disney cruises. I went on two in the past year. That's a little bit of a humble brag, but the Disney Wish looks amazing. Rapunzel as the what is it called? The Hull character or whatever. That is awesome. I saw some people online already saying that it should have been Aladdin and the Genie. I do kind of agree. It should have been Aladdin like on his carpet flying around it, but I think it looks really good. Um, I'm really excited to go on it. I'm a little surprised they didn't just announce the names of the other two boats. I think that would have been really cool. Cause right now I'm banking on one of them being called the Disney Imagination. Or like the Disney
All right,
Imagine.
that actually seems like a pretty good name. I would like that.
Yeah, and if that happens, my hope is that the character on the back of the boat is going to be Figment in the Dreamfinder. That won't happen, but a boy can dream, can he?
Unfortunately, true. Yes, that goes for both you and I and the old ones, even those who claim
Yeah.
to be old.
What else was there? Oh, let's talk about the Star Wars Hotel for a second. Um, why is it so expensive? I've heard like that they didn't say the official price, but I've heard it's like thousands of dollars a night. Just here and there, I've heard that it's like crazy expensive. It's basically a cruise that is on land and fully
A
immersive.
cruise on land. Sorry, I had to
Yeah,
pause a moment to take that in. I don't think I heard that right.
because you're stuck in one building and it's fully immersive and there's food and things to do all inside and you can't leave, so it's like a cruise ship. I mean you could leave a cruise ship, but um, you would die in the ocean. So, yeah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna stay at this Star Wars hotel. I don't care how much it is. I'm gonna stay here.
Do you
It's
have a
amazing.
spare $5,000?
Hey man, my grandma said she'll pay for it. I'm part of her list. As soon as it was announced last D23, she said, "All right, I am putting together a team of family members that would have fun at a Star Wars hotel," and I was on that list.
Of course he would go. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It was an
Um,
automatic yes. I knew it.
I wish I could talk about my experience with Star Wars Land here, but we're just talking about the parks panel. Just a quick little blurb about the panel. Um, what do you think of the new Epcot neighborhoods idea?
Well, to tell you the truth, man, the whole concept of Future World, of course you know Michael and Epcot, but the only thing is, it's been dated for years. It's been, honestly, a shell of its 1996 self that's just been
Mm-hmm.
trying to be revitalized in whatever way. Though, unfortunately, I guess it is. I don't see it as anything bad, but more or less a way to still revitalize the area and not worry about Future World being out of date and the blink of an eye, if you get what I mean. So it's not another Tomorrowland
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, I think it's a really great design. I like how it's different neighborhoods.
I
Um,
like that elevated area before the World Showcase crossover, that elevated area
yes.
with the trees. That looks really,
I
dare I
love that a
say,
lot.
futuristic.
I love it. It looks
And
like
it looks
something
like
straight
only,
out of the
as I said
Jetsons.
earlier. Exactly, yes. And as I
I
said
love it.
earlier, only one of the
Oh,
Communicore or Innoventions buildings is on the chopping block. It does look a little off balance, though for
it
the most part
definitely
I can
does that, I
understand
think.
I can understand I can understand it slightly. As for
Yeah.
everything else, the land is here to stay, and a new film called Awesome Planet, which is basically symbiosis on steroids, will be replacing the Lion
Yeah.
King film, whose name I already
I'm not
forgotten.
gonna. Yeah.
I
I'm
already
not gonna
forgot. Was it
lie.
called
When they said the title of the video was "Awesome
Awesome
Planet," I
Planet?
had a good chuckle, and I was like, "This new video, Epic Gamer Planet, pretty much it's just such a
I
foolish name."
completely forgot the name of the Lion King Land Pavilion film. Was it Circle of
Oh, what was that
Life?
called? I think it was Circle of Life. Yeah.
I've forgotten it already. Then,
Um,
of course, Living with the Land is here to stay. Soarin' is here to
I love
stay.
Living with the
And
Land. Yeah, I
Living with the
think
Land's a
on the
classic. My mom loves Living with the Land.
yeah, there were rumors a while ago that the seas and the land were gonna go away, but I think they got enough backlash from that because they wouldn't have named that section of the park Disney or like World Nature if they weren't gonna keep the land and the seas. Like,
Why waste that space and why
yeah,
waste that money to tear down buildings that could
yeah,
be used still? I mean, you've got the land is home to the greenhouses that still make food for the park. You're still growing fruits,
mm-hmm,
vegetables, all that stuff in the land greenhouses. Why get rid of that?
yeah. And the land is just a great place to hang out. I can't tell you how many times I've had like a midday rest in the Four
Exactly, same
Seasons
thing with
Eatery.
me. Same thing
Yeah.
with me. When I was last in Epcot, this was July or I think late July, early August 2016. My aunt and I were taking the Undiscovered Future World tour, and we had lunch in the land pavilion. So we went down to the lower level by the escalators and by the entrance to Living with the Land, grabbed a little something,
Hmm.
and it was really relaxing. Not too much chaos. The area music is really
Yeah.
peaceful. Overall, it's still a really nice pavilion. Sure, no matter how
Hmm.
dated it is, it's still pretty nice. I mean, its last renovation was about 15 years ago, but it still holds up.
Yeah. So while we're in Epcot, let's talk about the biggest a announcement of the entire panel. To me, at least.
Guardians
Well,
of the. Let me guess. Guardians of the
oh,
Galaxy.
no, but I was gonna go with Mary Poppins because
Okay, so
Guardians was
let's go about
big.
Mary Pop.
I
Let's
mean,
go to Mary.
Mary.
Let's talk about Mary Poppins. Then we'll head back to Guardians of the Galaxy and Spaceship
Yeah, we'll
Earth.
talk about Mary Poppins, y'all. Um,
Oh my
I
gosh,
It
perfect.
was rumored a long time ago that they were gonna do a Mary Poppins ride, and after Mary Poppins Returns happened and there was just no real buzz for it, I was like, there's no way they're gonna go through with this Mary Poppins idea, but they did. I was surprised they did, and
And
it
honestly,
looks
I'm happy they
fantastic.
did. I'm really
Me
happy they
too.
did. And they
It
got
looks
Dick
really
Van
good.
Dyke on board for the attraction. He looks stellar for his age. He looks great.
He
Papa
really does.
Bless.
Um, it was originally rumored that it was gonna be like a flat ride spinner, but I'm not sure if because they never said it's going to be a ride. They only said it's going to be an attraction. So it could
Would you
just
say it
be
might
like
be
a
a
stage
show?
show or something like that. Uh, it's really up in the air with that one. But it looks amazing, and any updates to the World Showcase are fantastic as long as I get to keep my caramel store in Germany and the fish and chips shop in the United Kingdom. That's all I need.
Those are definitely staying, I know that.
Yeah, those are the best. That's like the best food you can get in the
There will
parks. It's
be
so
two
good.
there will be two new Circle Vision films for Canada and the
Yes.
China pavilions.
Yeah, that was
So
a
I
kind
guess
of
goodbye
surprising
to Martin
announcement.
Short.
Yes,
Goodbye to Martin Short.
his reign was Martin short-lived. Not really. He was
Oh,
there for a long time,
don't get me wrong, I
but
love Martin Short.
yeah. I honestly wish that they would just overhaul the Canada Pavilion all the way like they did with or like they're going to do with the United Kingdom Pavilion. Like I
Hmm.
really want them to just like change it entirely. Like put a log ride. I don't know why they haven't thought to put a log flume ride in the Canada area, but that is totally off topic.
No,
New
wait,
Circle
I've
Vision.
got a better idea. I have a better idea.
Hmm.
Put Duke Kaboom at the top of the mountain and launch him during the fireworks show.
Yes, they need to put a Duke Kaboom reference in. Yeah,
Please.
that would be so good.
Just throw
Um,
Duke Kaboom at the top of the building, wherever, and then launch him. Yes, you Canada. Kaboom.
yeah, even just like a little hidden Easter egg of them would be fantastic. So let's go to what you were talking about, which is Guardians of the Galaxy YouTube
Galaxy.
Rewind. Um,
YouTube Rewind.
what? That's what the name reminded
I
me
know
of.
one of.
Mission Rewind, YouTube Rewind. They sound similar.
Well, we know which one is better.
Yeah, definitely Guardians.
Sorry if you hear that. There is a car alarm going off outside my window.
Somebody's just very excited about Guardians of the Galaxy YouTube Rewind. Um,
Oh, that's true. Well,
um,
the Guardians of the Galaxy doing YouTube Rewind will be far better than any of the past 3 years YouTube Rewind.
yeah. The ride itself sounds fantastic. Um, I had known about the backwards launch for a while, thanks WDWNT. They leaked it months ago, and I I didn't know about the rotating cars. That makes sense since Universal already did that, but Disney will do it
Yeah, I
better.
saw the rotating carts as well.
Like that'll be really cool.
I've also I saw the concept art, the new design of the concept art. It's gonna look like a Xandarian outpost with the Milano in
Yeah,
front.
I was a little bummed that they changed the inside of the queue. It was originally gonna have like a rocket and a Groot animatronic, but they budget cut that out. Oh well. Um,
Now, where do you want to place money on the reference to Universe of
yeah.
Energy?
Um,
Come on, they gotta reference Universe of Energy some way. How do you think they'll do
yeah.
it?
Um, I don't know. I definitely think there'll be a pre-show where you hear Star-Lord talk about, "Are we in Epcot? This place was great back in the '80s. Where's the one redhead guy with the dragon? Where did he go?" Like that would be funny
Oh,
if you referenced
that's what you
Rewind.
call easy fan
Yeah,
service.
super easy fan service. Um, while we're still in Epcot, I would love to make the easy, beautiful transition of Guardians to Marvel Land, but let's just stay in Epcot and let's talk about Space 220. Um, probably the.
That's the space-themed restaurant going next to Mission Space.
Do you agree with me that this is the worst name for a restaurant, like next to Roaring Fork and the.
Honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm just not
Yeah, it's
surprised.
just like.
Space
I mean, I was gonna
220.
call it the Space Restaurant anyways, no matter what they called it, but Space
Same
220 is
thing
just
with
kind of
me. I'm probably
foolish.
just gonna call it. It's the space restaurant. You
Yeah.
know.
Um, there really isn't much.
Before we move on to space, sorry to
Yeah.
cut you off. What was that,
There
kid?
really isn't much to say, except Bob Chapek mispronounced a name of a restaurant. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's Tutto Italia or something like that. One of the Italian restaurants. He totally,
Shows you how much
yeah,
he
he totally
knows.
butchered the name of it. I thought that was funny. Um, well, all right, let's move
It was
on.
funny.
Let's keep it in this. What is it called?
Before we leave Epcot, I just want to make mention of one thing that currently has Twitter burning.
What is that?
The next overhaul to Spaceship
Yes,
Earth.
Spaceship Earth. That's a good one. I just want to know who the narrator is. That's all I need. I need to know who the voice of the narrator is. Because,
Who do you think it could be? Somebody who has a clear enough voice to make a narration seem wholesome, memorable, like the past Spaceship Earths. We've had Jeremy Irons, we've had Walter Cronkite, and most recently we've had Dame Judi Dench for the
yeah.
last
Um,
about 12 years.
Personally, and this is a lot of personal bias, I really want Danny DeVito to narrate the attraction, but I don't think that's going to happen. Keanu Reeves would
I don't
also
think
make a
so either.
fantastic narrator, but also probably not going to happen.
Actually, yeah, he's got a good enough voice for it.
Yeah, I think it's insane that it's going to take 2 years for that overhaul. I hear they're going to like redo like a lot of the inside other than the scenes. It's like they're going to redo all the tracks in the ride because that needed to happen.
Of course, they're old.
I really need new ride vehicles in there because the current ride vehicles,
those things have been there. How long have those been there? They can't be the same one since '82.
I don't know, they're really old. They're so short.
Okay, they are the same.
I'm
ones.
like taller than average. So when I sit in those cars, I have to like squat down and like go sideways just to hear anything out of the speakers. Like I cannot hear anything. It's so low.
You know what they need? They need a headphone.
Yes.
They need a headphone jack.
Yeah, I would love that.
Why not get a headphone jack?
Yeah. Then
that would be perfect. What about the new scenes? Do you have anything to say about the new scenes? Currently, as people have been saying that they killed Epcot by making Spaceship Earth Moana, but really there's nothing about Moana in that new scene. It's about the Voyagers.
Like
nothing from Moana, just the Voyagers that it was inspired by.
Yeah. I mean, I can see how people can misinterpret it because I did as well. Because the picture you see of that scene is a boat that looks like Moana's boat and a ghost manta ray, which is in Moana. Like, it's almost like they were trying to make you think of Moana with that. Like, I get that it's like, oh, sorry, my phone went off. Like, I get that it's based on the Voyagers and stuff, but it really looked like Moana.
I gotta say, the thing I'm really noticing is a lot more Moana attention because ever since its release, you really haven't had much attention to Moana. It's really died out.
Yeah, which sucks because Moana is fantastic.
Exactly.
Oh, we already talked about Moana's Puddle Park a little bit. I think we're just gonna stay in Epcot until we hit all of the Epcot stuff. So let's move back to World Discovery. Let's talk about the Play Pavilion, Michael. Your old favorite pavilion.
My
in
old
its
place.
New form. They announced that water balloon fight with the screens. It took me a second to figure out what was going on with that picture, but it makes a lot of sense, and it looks like the people in the picture are holding Wii controllers and playing water balloons with Donald Duck. Like, it looks interesting. I mean, they gotta put what they can in there.
Well, I can tell you this. Currently, they haven't said anything about what they're gonna use besides the main dome. Currently, the Body Wars and Cranium Command buildings are off limits, as is the MetLife VIP Lounge. Those are both off
Yeah,
limits. The but only the main dome has been seized by Walt Disney Imagineering. The rest of the pavilion, Body Wars Cranium and the MetLife Lounge,
yeah,
have not been touched. So it looks like if they gutted Cranium Command and Body Wars, they are just over glorified storage rooms now. Then the MetLife Lounge is probably might be tech or another Imagineer uh, backstage, or maybe cast member backstage, a lounge within the pavilion,
yeah.
unless they make it some sort of new show or some sort of walking attraction that's on 2 levels.
That'd be cool.
Otherwise, because there's still an access stairway that goes from the MetLife Lounge to Body Wars that still has the carnival circus theming with concept art versions of General Knowledge and Buzzy.
Oh yeah.
Those are probably no longer in existence.
hmm Um.
But honestly, I don't really. When I first heard the news, this is going on about a year ago. When I heard that something new was going into my place, yes, I was excited, but then once they announced this is what it's gonna be Zootopia, the drawing class, that thing with Donald Duck, and the water balloon Wii
hmm
controllers, it
I,
was an
I
automatic, this looks like. What do you got about it, Caden?
I like it. I mean, it's for kids. It's a really good idea. It's what Interventions I think was originally supposed to be, and now they have to
Yes.
redo it for the modern age. I
Honestly, I
sound like a
totally see
friggin'
where you're
boomer.
coming from. I totally
Yeah,
see where you're coming from with that. What interventions should have been but wasn't.
yeah. Cause I mean, when I was young, my grandma would take me to Epcot, cause cast member and stuff. Like I would go to Epcot, and it's a really good park for kids. But they're gonna be changing a lot of it, so it's good to have like a spot to take your annoying kids and just set them loose to go run around in Zootopia and stuff. And it's a really good place for new meet and greets. Like, I've heard that the Wreck It Ralph meet and greet is going in there, and the Baymax meet and greet. Like, it's a fantastic place for that. And, yeah, I think the
I
Play Pavilion
saw
will be really good.
also. What else did I see? Aside from the Play Pavilion, Mission Space is here to stay, Test Track's here to stay.
I don't
Then
think
in
they
the
could have even
Odyssey
thought.
building, I saw on the Diz there's going to be a new Epcot preview exhibit about what's to come for the park
I saw that.
inside the Odyssey building.
Yep, that Odyssey building is. I would have preferred if they had just bulldozed it and made it easier to get to the Mexico Pavilion, but that's whatever.
Unfortunately, that space has a survey marker, and I think 3 survey markers, so they cannot bulldoze the pavilion, or
Yeah,
the building rather.
that's true. I mean, it just kind of sits there.
When something is survey markered, I don't think the property or the place of building could go away. I could be wrong though, because I did see
Yeah.
survey markers and height balloons.
Mhm. Um, let's move on down the track on
Imagination,
this Epcot parade. Did you want to talk about imagination or lack thereof?
both actually.
Yeah, cause I want to talk about that. I've heard that people saw Bob Chapek in the parks, like looking around at what to fix, and he pointed at imagination. So there's got to be something up there. They probably didn't want to announce that yet. It's to me, it's either Figment is getting the Dreamfinder back, or excuse me, sorry, Figment is getting his old buddy the Dreamfinder back, or we're losing Figment entirely. I think it's one way or the other. They're not just gonna keep
I would
Figment
hate
alone
for
again.
either. I would hate for either to happen.
Really,
Well,
you wouldn't
not really
like the
either, but I would.
Dreamfinder to come back?
No, no, I'm mistaken. I wouldn't like for the latter to happen because, well, I would love to see Dreamfinder back. Don't get me wrong. What I said was confusion. I was still trying to process. I spoke too soon.
Ah,
I'd
you're
like to see
fine.
Dreamfinder back. Unfortunately, if we lose Figment entirely, I would not want to see the pavilion go back into the Journey into Your Imagination days. But if there's anything else, I'm not sure if you heard this either, Caden. Though years ago, this has to be I think 2016. Parks and Resorts asked Pete Docter at Pixar if he wanted to bring Inside Out into the Imagination Pavilion, but he declined the offer twice because he didn't want to kill off Figment. And if you didn't know, Pete Docter, he worked for Walt Disney Animation, and he animated the Cranium
I was
Command
gonna say
pre-show.
that. Yeah, he animated Cranium Command.
He has ties to the parks.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to kill off Figment.
I heard that Cranium Command was an inspiration for Inside Out.
That's right.
I really think Inside Out is probably going to go into the Imagination Pavilion. I really wish that we were talking about this 6 years ago, where I could have said I want Phineas and Ferb to go into the Imagination Pavilion, because that was actually a real rumor for a while, and I would have loved that as a big Phineas and Ferb fan, but I think Inside Out's got to go in there. I don't see how they can't. Bob Chapek really...
They also could have revived... They could have used... If they didn't completely change Wonders of Life into play, they could have reused the Cranium Command space totally to make an Inside-Out animatronic show. I mean, you've still got... The projectors are probably... Well, right now, they're close to 30 years old. They still run on film. The whole place would have to be revitalized. The sound systems were untouched. The film was rotting away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they didn't archive it.
Yeah, they should have archived it. I don't know why they didn't.
Well, it turns out, according to a video, I think by D23, that was an interview of interviewing Pete Docter about Inside Out and Cranium Command. They actually had source material, source video of the Cranium Command pre-show from film. So they do have it in the archives.
Oh,
and I
good.
think all the Cranium Command show footage, the eyes, all the actors footage with John Lovitz, Charlie Grodin, Hans and Franz, George Wendt, Bob Goldthwait, all of the actors footage, that's in the Disney archives as well.
Yeah, that's good. My thoughts before this expo, or before the Play Pavilion was announced, I was like, Inside Out is coming to Epcot. In one way or another, it's going to be here. Because it's a movie that already has a little bit of edutainment built in. It's got science in there, and they can easily shoehorn that into Epcot. And my two thoughts were, it's going into Imagination, or it's going into the Wonders of Life. And since the Wonders of Life is now taken up, it's got to go into Imagination. I just think we're going to get that next year. I just don't think Disney was ready to announce that.
So it looks like, is that it for Epcot?
Unless we want to talk about the little upgrades and the fireworks show. I missed the fireworks show part of the presentation, so I don't really know much about it. People are pretty mad because there's a really good fireworks show happening, but it's only for a year. We didn't talk about Remy. We didn't talk about Remy at all.
Oh yes, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure going into the France Pavilion.
Opening next year, which I did not think was going to happen. That was a big surprise for me.
Well, they've been working on it for a while now. They're still far along in production.
Yeah.
They've been far along in production.
And I mean, it is easier to build a ride that you already had somewhere else. So, I mean, I've ridden the Remy ride. I rode it in Paris, and it's a fine ride. It's not the best, but it's good. It'll be really good for that section of the park, which is pretty rideless. That whole back side of the World Showcase. So I think that'll be
We'll have some
beneficial.
crowd puller.
Yeah, it'll be really good. Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah,
before we move on from Epcot, I just wanted to ask, what do you still think of the other lasting attractions within the World Showcase? Frozen Ever After is still new, but the Grand Fiesta Tour, that's been there for eons. And they added those old animatronics years ago.
Yeah, those old animatronics are a fantastic addition to that ride. I was really surprised we didn't see them announcing Coco going into Grand Fiesta Tour. I think that's just a ticking time bomb waiting to happen, because if you saw in the Mexico poster this year, one of the Epcot,
Miguel was on the front.
Miguel was on the front, and there was no Caballeros on the Mexico poster, and I was like, well, that's weird. Why are they highlighting Miguel and not the Caballeros?
Unless they have some outside show that revolves around Coco.
Yeah, I mean, they do have that outside show, with the puppet. But I think they've got to change the ride. The way they're starting to focus on Coco a lot more. I think One thing they might have, like one of the main reasons I think they refrained from announcing the end of Grand Fiesta Tour this year is because it's like the 75th anniversary of the Three Caballeros, and that would just be like kind of a gut punch to fans of that. It's like, yes, we did it. 75 years of the movie. This is fantastic. We got the ride, and then Disney would just pull out the rug from under them and go, whoops, nope, you don't got the ride anymore. So I think next year is when we're going to see an announcement of Coco's Grand Fiesta Tour.
That makes sense.
Like, I think
so
really
now
cool.
That looks like all there is for Epcot.
Yep.
So what's next after? So after Epcot, what else do we have? We talked about the cruise line.
Do we want
to? About Epcot, of course.
Do you want to talk a little bit about
next?
Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway? The little bit that we got?
Oh, yes.
There was not much at all.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, it is going into both Disneyland and Disney's Hollywood Studios.
But for some reason...
I really don't have a problem with it, to tell you the truth. I'm fine with what we've seen, and in reality, I don't see anything all too wrong with it. I'm happy to see Mickey get some more presence in the parks, aside from just the walk-around character and in the parades. He finally has his own attraction for the first time in years, I must say.
Yeah. I have some issues here, because California should be the park where you're tearing out rides to put the Mickey ride. Florida should not have lost the Great Movie Ride for this ride. There is like a bunch of places you could have put this ride. You could have tucked it back on Sunset Boulevard. You could have put it like behind Indiana Jones and Star Tours. You could have put it, I don't know, in the animation zone where it's Star Wars right now. You could have put it in so many different places. I don't know why you had to take out the icon of the park and the ride that showed like what the whole park was about to just put in this Mickey ride. I think it was kind of foolish.
Well, unfortunately, ever since the loss of the Great Movie Ride, Disney's Hollywood Studios has earned the reputation of being an S-hole country.
Yeah.
No politics reference there. That's how people generally refer to it.
I mean, it's lost a lot of its charm. Like, it feels like after they took out the Great Movie Ride, it just lost a lot of soul. It just went
from... What I see, it turns out, I think they've totally strayed from the theme of being into the movies, and now it's really just the place where this is where it all happens. It's where
this is the place where we cram our IPs. Like,
well, then again, that's what it was initially. That's where we crammed IP in general, be it our own or licensed.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be great in 20 years. How old is Studios now? Is it
30 almost?
Dang.
Actually, it is 30.
It'll be great in 10 years when we get our Epcot-style overhaul again. Because Epcot's getting its overhaul around its 40th. Let's see this Hollywood Studios return to form in 10 years. I want Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Which means they would get rid of Batu and Toy Story Land.
Who needs Toy Story Land? I want to be on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
You should go back to California for that. No, wait. Apply for the legit show. Meet Chris Harrison and go to Las Vegas.
That would be cool.
That is legit. It's not an attraction. That's where they filmed the legit Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah. While we're kind of talking about Disneyland a little bit with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, let's do a hop, skip, and a jump over to Disney's California Adventure with the new Avengers Campus.
Oh, yes. I completely forgot about that in light of all the Epcot news and, of course, DHS apparently reestablishing its S-hole country status.
For DCA?
What do you got to say about DCA and the Avengers, Caden?
I love the land. I think it looks great. It's kind of like what I think they should have done with Star Wars Land, where you just have bits and pieces from everything kind of tied together by one theme. They did it really well. The Spider-Man ride looks fantastic. I'm not going to talk about Sony here, but
well, of course, I like what they've done. Sorry to cut you off, Caden. I like what they've done with everything. Of course, if it's going to be called Avengers Campus, why not have all the Avengers?
Yeah, it's a really cool land, and the new announced Avengers ride sounds pretty cool. Apparently, this is some insider info from WDWNT.com. They say that the new ride system is supposed to be a jetpack style ride, where it feels like you're strapped into a jetpack. So it's like Soarin', but it feels like you're on a jetpack flying around helping the Avengers, and the Quinjet is just like a pre-show, or like it's where you start and then you drop out of it or something. I think it looks fantastic. The part I'm most excited for in this land is the Doctor Strange area. For one reason, if anyone else has been on the Marvel Day at Sea Disney cruise, they have a show that's like Doctor Strange and the kids learn to be sorcerers, and it is the worst show Disney has ever created. My grandma, who has been like a Disney parks person like ever since they opened, she said that that was the only Disney stage show that she walked out of midway through because it was so bad. And it sounds like that's exactly what they're going to put in that Doctor Strange area, which makes me happy that I can see it every time I go. Um,
Well, that wasn't a. I completely forgot what I was going to say. I was going to do a crack at that. Oh, it's no. It's. What show was it? I'm thinking of a show that I'm trying to compare to it, but I have completely
there's a lot of
blanked
bad
now.
shows. There was, I mean, not Disney, but Universal had like a cartoon show. I heard that's like one of the worst stage shows. It's really all I know. Um, what else? Do you have any opinions on the Marvel Land?
Currently, I like what they've been doing. I like what they have secretly been doing behind our backs, and I like what they have pulled off for us. I mean, of course, you wouldn't have an Avengers campus without all the Avengers,
Mm-hmm.
so I understand why everybody's gonna be there, and the whole integration of most of the Marvel heroes that we've seen, mostly from the MCU. Rest in peace, Spidey.
R.I.P. Spidey. By the way, anyone watching, check out IGN's video about the Spider-Man leaving the MCU because I actually star in it. I am the Fat Thor. I have a video coming out about that. I was gonna record my experience as D23, but everybody else recorded it for me because I was one of the best costumes there apparently. So yeah, that's gonna be my video. I'm waiting to make it until the Today Show of Australia interview goes up. I was interviewed by the Today Show of Australia. It's kind of surreal.
One random thing that I just wanted to mention, according to, I don't want to say this person's name, so I'll just say Diz Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Disney Movie Rewards is being renamed to Disney Movie Insider.
That's stupid.
Same thing, just new name.
Sorry, I'm mad about that. That's stupid. You get rewards. Why would you change the name from Disney Movie Rewards? That's dumb.
I just realized what I said. All they did was just change the name. Well, I still got all those points, so you don't see me
Yeah,
complaining.
that's true.
I stack up my points, man.
Yeah. What else is there to talk about?
Hmm.
They showed off some art of Zootopia coming to Shanghai. I really want them to put that in
Of course.
Animal Kingdom, but that's
Have you been to Shanghai Disneyland, Caden?
Shanghai and Hong Kong are the only parks I have not been to. So I think it's 10. I'm 10 for 12 right now. Something like that cuz I've been to Disneyland, California Adventure, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, Tokyo Disneyland, Tokyo Disney Sea, Walt Disney Studios Paris.
If I can at least give Hollywood Studios some credit, when I'm in Walt Disney World, Hollywood Studios is the Pixar fans
That
go
is
to.
true. It is the Pixar Dream Zone.
Hollywood Studios is the perfect place for a Pixar. If you're obsessed with Pixar as much as I am, Disney's Hollywood Studios is your park. It's definitely not a shithole country to you.
I'll censor that out for you.
Excuse
fine,
my language.
What else? I feel like we're missing so much.
I guess is that really all there was about
there
the
really
Parks
that was
panel?
about it. There were some things we skipped, but it doesn't really matter because, I mean, there was the Walt Disney statue that's coming to Epcot, where he looks like the sad Keanu meme.
Which I like.
He looks like the sad Keanu sitting on a bench meme.
Wait, once that statue goes up, have Keanu Reeves visit the park and put his arm over
Yes, oh my
Walt.
gosh, that would be amazing. um, Anything you wish that was there that wasn't?
So anything that I wish was there that wasn't. Within the parks. Well, besides, of course, if only we had gotten a return of Dreamfinder. Though, if there's really anything that I wish we could have seen, hmm, I really don't think there is. I mean, Epcot's getting its complete redo. Hollywood Studios, despite its asshole status, is being turned into the literal land of movies. You literally step into movies. I mean, Caden, you stepped into Batu when you were in
I did,
Disneyland.
and it was amazing. And I will probably make a whole video just about that, because even though I only got to spend 2 hours in Star Wars Land, it was amazing. Um,
And really, I think that's really all I have to say. So far, as somebody who is physically 19 but spiritually old as hell, color me surprisingly hopeful. Epcot's been a shell of its trying to be part 80s, part today for years now. And this is a step in a new direction where we're going to see bits of the old, bits into the new.
mhm.
A new Epcot that still seems futuristic, but still has that theme going. If you remember from the Millennium Celebration, which I actually do,
Yeah.
with a voice from every country, a face from every land, we'll celebrate the future hand in hand.
Yeah. I was I was not alive for the Millennium Celebration. I guess that kind of ages myself, but um, yeah, I heard that was cool.
What, am I old?
I guess a little bit. Um, I'm gonna say the thing that I was surprised wasn't there was the Brazil pavilion because it was leaked and it's been talked about and leaked for a while. I think they were going to announce it, but due to the current status of Brazil, it's probably not going to get announced for a little bit because it's Brazil's a little bit on fire, just a tad. Oh, I'm looking through Twitter right now at D23 stuff, and I just saw the best cosplay ever. This won't go in the podcast, by the way.
What was that?
It's a group of people dressed up as Forky, Knifey, and then other two people that are with them dressed up as Mr. Potato Head, but one is a cucumber Mr. Potato Head and one is a tortilla Mr. Potato Head.
Did I ever tell you that I actually did the Mr. Tortilla Head before?
Oh, you did? That is awesome.
At one point, I took the parts from my Toy Story collection, my Thinkway Toy Story collection, Mr. Potato Head, threw them onto a tortilla, and that actually worked.
That is pretty awesome. Well, let's wrap this up. Mike, do you have anything you want to plug right now?
Alright, so for plugs, the big two videos that I have coming this fall are a review of the Toy Story Signature Collection Duke Kaboom, followed by a bit of a spoof or parody. I'm making a fake commercial for Duke Kaboom,
nice.
similar to what we saw in the movie, so it'll have the old film style. I might actually film it with an old Super 8 camera.
That would be pretty cool if you can manage to do that. That's awesome.
What about you, Caden? Anything else you got?
I make weekly videos. Or at least I try to make a video a week every Wednesday at 3:15 Mountain Time. I try to roll out a new video. This week should be D23, and I think next week I'll probably be talking about Disneyland. And yes, the rumors are true. I am one of the fat Thors at D23. I was the one that had Just Yormir. There's a lot of pictures of me all over the internet. So if you see any of that, know it's me. And I will be talking about that in my upcoming video. Yeah, and if you want to see Fat Thor, I will be at Salt Lake Fan X on Thursday, September 5th. So if you want to get a picture with Fat Thor, I'll be there. Anyways, I think that's all we got for the Disney Parks panel. Look forward to my upcoming D23 videos and some more discussion about D23 as a whole.